Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review, and next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series X-Men Bonebreaker Build-A-Figure Wave. This is Marvel's Vulcan. So before I get into the video, I had a pre-order in with ToySnowman.com, and they actually just recently shipped mine out. So I will include a link in the video description below for my referral link, which will get you a 5% off coupon code in your Frost rewards for first-time buyers, first-time users that register a new account. So link in the video description below for that 5% referral code. Again, ToySnowman.com, they are based in Canada, so just a heads up on that. Canada has been on fire lately and getting everything before the US, where we got Siren, Wolverine, and Sabretooth, sure, but that's it. I guess Big Bad Toy Store did ship out some Havoc figures, and that's it though. We did not get the full wave, so now I finally have the rest of the wave to complete Bonebreaker and build them out, so I'm very excited about that. So ToySnowman.com, again, referral link in the video description below. But here we have Vulcan, one of the Summers brothers. This one is a little bit extra special because we know that this body is going to replace the super outdated and overused Bucky Cap body mold that Hasbro has been using for the last 8 years, I believe it is, which is insane. Now, Bucky Cap is a good body. It's just outdated because it's been used so many times over and over and over again. Since Bucky Cap, they've done a lot of things, introducing some new body molds, you know, bringing in butterfly joints into figures, and most recently going pinless. So that's what this new Vulcan body is going to be. It's going to be kind of the standard body that's going to be used for figures going forward. Bucky Cap isn't 100% retired, as they did say that it'll be a phased approach, so we may still see some figures using parts from the Bucky Cap body. But eventually, this new body mold for Vulcan will actually take over, and we'll start to see used quite a bit. But anyway, we got the X-Men logo there, the side artwork by David Nakayama, looking very awesome. Really, really like it. Looking at the back of the package, we get that full look of him there. And the bio reads, Vulcan sets his sights on total galactic conquest. Standing in his way are the X-Men, the Inhumans, the Kree, and his brother Havoc. So his brother Havoc is in this wave, as you can see right there. So Bonebreaker to complete him. I've already reviewed Wolverine, Siren, and Sabretooth because GameStops in the US did get those, but now from Toy Snowman I got Havoc, Vulcan, Maggot, and Darwin so I can build out Bonebreaker. So I'm excited for that, and we'll get right to it. Okay, so here is the Vulcan figure out of the package, and you know what? The updated body is really, really nice. I really, really like it. You can kind of see the inspiration from the Bucky Cap body mold into something kind of generic, right? It's not overly muscular in some areas, but then it's not totally smooth in some of the areas that you would think. So the closest thing that it would kind of resemble would be the all-new, all-different Spider-Man 2099 body mold. But as you can see, there's quite a bit of a height difference between the two. Like, it's pretty wild, kind of looking at the height difference. And I think the biggest thing is going to be because of these hip pieces. You can see how long that hip piece is there, that upper leg piece. Whereas here on Spider-Man 2099, it's much shorter. So that's where the big height difference is really going to come from, because you could see, you know, how higher up the waist is compared. Because it's nowhere near kind of what Bucky Cap was. And Bucky Cap, you know, was slightly undersized, I would say. You know, definitely in the feet, because he had tiny feet. So there is a big difference, and I'll kind of do some closer ups, you know, to kind of show you guys the difference. But Vulcan here comes with a couple of accessories, no energy effects or anything like that, which would have been nice. But we get these cool open not holding hands, but these open hands here, and these look really good. These hands, I think, are going to be brand new. I don't think we've seen hands like this before. You know, maybe that could be new, but this one definitely looks new to me. Maybe I'm wrong on that. There's been so many different hands that have released, but these look really good. Speaking of hands, we also get a Bonebreaker Build-A-Figure piece, the torso, which he also comes with a pair of fists, so that is pretty cool. And then we have the torso here for Bonebreaker, as you can see, and he's going to plug into the tank like so. There, get this floating collar piece, but this is going to be pretty cool. I'm excited to put this thing together. We have pin arms. Which arms are these? Are these the 2099 arms? Yeah, those are actually the Spider-Man 2099 arms. Those biceps. So I'm really excited to be able to build Bonebreaker, but we'll stick that off to the side for now, and then we'll get going on Vulcan, and we'll take a closer look at him. Okay, so here's an up-close look at Vulcan. Damn, that looks really good, right? I like the way that came out looking. The digital face print on comic figures was a really nice touch. You know, with MCU and video game figures, they did the digital print. They introduced that, you know, however many years ago. And it worked out really well. But comic figures continued to receive the regular paint applications. But now comic figures are getting the digital print, which kind of gives it a much cleaner look that I can really appreciate. So that looks really good. Came out looking really, really nice. Not a whole lot going on for the figure, though, as we get just a couple of different colors here. We got this dark blue up here on his chest and shoulders, and then for the gloves there. And then his boots are molded in that gold color plastic, so you're going to see a little bit of marbleization in there. Like I got that big old line there on his foot. Lots of red, gold on the belt with a little bit of red paint. But not a whole lot else going on for the figure. But the cool thing is, again, it's the updated, or not the updated, the new standard base body. So this will be replacing Bucky Cap. So we got Bucky Cap body mold. We will now have the Vulcan body, assuming that's what we're gonna call it, since Vulcan, it's usually named after the first figure to get it. Which brings me to one point, because everyone calls this the Sunfire body because they released around the same time. But I got Spider-Man 2099 in November of whatever year it had come out, like right before Black Friday at Toys R Us. So Sunfire I didn't get until like February. So that was like 3 or 4 months difference. So I've always called it the Spider-Man 2099 body because it released before the Sunfire figure ever did. But that's just me and my OCD and being picky, and it's stupid that it shouldn't matter, but I call it that. That's the way it is. But anyway, Vulcan. So we're going to zoom out a little bit and we'll take a look at kind of some of the updated pieces here. The big thing again is that he is pinless, so no pins at the elbows, no pins at the knees. So remember what I was talking about, how this guy is pretty tall, because look at how long these hip pieces are there. So again, for a closer look and a brighter look, looking at those pieces, you can see that's a huge size difference between the two, and that's what's causing the big height difference. Because if you look, man, that's significantly taller. Like, look at those shoulders, how much lower these shoulders are. It's kind of crazy, right, when you look side by side. And then when you bust out the Bucky Cap, same thing, right? It's just significantly, well, I guess Bucky Cap's actually a little bit closer, but it's definitely taller, because if you look at the hip pieces again, they're there. Now, the legs aren't overly muscular like the Bucky Cap, I would say, which causes a couple of problems with the Bucky Cap. The hips and the muscle definition of the thighs don't always line up perfectly, and it's always kind of ugly. This one, I think we're going to get a much smoother, cleaner look to it, so I could really appreciate that quite a bit more. If these are going to be the standard feet, they're much better than the small-ass feet of Bucky Cap that I hated because it just doesn't stabilize real well. And they're freaking tiny. Look how small them damn feet are. So we got an update to that. Now, the calf situation is pretty similar to Bucky Cap, as you can see. Like, when you turn that leg, it's really going to kind of look ugly in certain spots because of how it's going to look, where it just fits along there, and it's just a sharp cut. So same thing with Bucky Cap. I think actually Bucky Cap may have hidden it a little bit better, but it's basically the same, as you can see there. The arms, the shoulders are similar. I don't want to say they're the same, but they kind of have a similar look to it. The arms are definitely different. They closely resemble the same as the 2099 body, but because these are pinless, it's obviously updated and new. But I want to say it's more similar to the 2099 body than Bucky Cap was. And then one big difference, and I don't know, I literally just now noticed this, but there is a cut right at the red and blue. I don't know if that's going to be standard for this body, but it does not swivel. Does not swivel. So I don't know if they're doing it, and so instead of painting blue, you could just do a whole nother separate piece and glue them together. I don't know if that's cheaper in the manufacturing process, but it definitely gives it a cleaner look. But there's no swivel, so that could just be something that they plan, for future releases. If somebody's going to have like a gauntlet piece or some arm wrap or something that they're going to want to switch out, they can do that without molding an entire new arm. That way, when you have the pinless elbow already ready to go. That's my assumption. I honestly don't know. We'll see. But I literally had just noticed that as I was looking at these figures, thinking, wait, what the hell? That's a cut. That's not just a painted line. So it's interesting. I guess time will tell what they end up doing there. So we shall see. Now, the muscular features of like 2099 compared to this one, they're pretty similar, but I would say it's a little bit more defined probably on the new Vulcan body. It's hard to see like with, you know, the different paint apps all over in the Spider-Man 2099 body, but they're fairly similar. So it's a big difference between Bucky Cap, as you could tell, right? Bucky Cap is very muscular, but it's kind of a little bit smaller, and we don't have butterfly joints, whereas on the new Vulcan body we got butterfly joints. Now, how well those butterfly joints work, not nearly as much as Spider-Man 2099, that's for sure, but you get a fair bit of motion there. And then here you can see that shoulder just goes way further back on 2099, but 2099 also has this small shoulder, the shoulder ball there, whereas Vulcan has a much larger shoulder piece, similar again to the Bucky Cap body mold. So because it's so much larger, obviously we're not going to get as much use out of that butterfly joint, but it's nice that knowing that a standard body will have butterfly joints. So that is pretty cool and something to really look forward to. But now let's zoom out and check out the articulation for Vulcan. Okay, so Vulcan's articulation, he can look all the way down, which is fantastic. He can look all the way up, and I'm glad we went with a ball disc hinge for the head and not the dumbbell joint, because I feel like you just get the better range of motion to look up and look down. Yes, we don't get the more natural neck movement, but I think looking up and looking down, to me, seems a little bit more important, but you guys let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on that. But we get some head pivot going on in there, not a whole lot. Shoulder can actually go straight out and up a little bit, which is great, because a lot of them only will go straight out. Like so, but we can bend that up a little bit more. Full rotation, of course, and then again, the butterfly joint, so we can get the arm to go back a little bit, and then you can get it to come forward a little bit as well to get some crossbody going there. Upper bicep swivel in there. Double jointed elbows that are pinless, which is great. So you get that much bend at the elbow, and elbow bend actually looks really good. The elbow seems to be a darker plastic, so it's a darker red compared to the rest of the arm. And then that's going to be the same thing with the knees, as you could tell there. The ab crunch, so we can crunch forward that much, which looks pretty good. He can crunch back that much, which looks pretty good. But I will give you fair warning, that's kind of an ugly joint look there. So that is a little bit tough. And then going back when you bend him forward, that's pretty ugly too. I can look past that because it's not a big deal to me, but in photography that could look a little bit odd, and I could see how some people won't like that. For me, it doesn't bother me, so just a heads up on that. We have a waist swivel in there. Legs go out that far apart. That's actually pretty good. Can kick forward that high, not too shabby. Doesn't really go back. Upper thigh cut in there. Double jointed knee, like so, works really, really well. Again, calf swivel, so we got that boot cut there. Foot hinges down. Tiny bit of hinge up, ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet, and much bigger feet that are definitely stable and sturdy to where he's not going to fall over from having tiny feet. And again, forearms, it could be something where they add a swivel, but for now, they're just pieces that are glued on in there. Alright, so here we have the Summers brothers. We got Cyclops, Scott Summers, we have Alex Summers, Havoc, and we have Gabriel Summers, Vulcan. So here we have some kind of older, outdated figures compared to Vulcan. So we got a Bucky Cap Havoc, and we got a Bucky Cap Cyclops. So we know the future is going to be bright and look good, because Havoc already has a new figure coming, and that is on the Spider-Man 2099 body mold, which is cool. Unfortunately, it's not the Vulcan body, which would have been nice, but, you know, Vulcan getting introduced in the wave by itself, not bad. So that's two Summers brothers with new figures and new bodies. But what about Cyclops? What about Scott? So we know the Morph figure is coming in the X-Men animated series VHS packaging to Hasbro Pulse and Shop Disney. That figure has some very similar pieces to Cyclops. So if you look at Morph's legs, very similar to what we have going on here with Cyclops. So how much would you be willing to bet that we get a brand new Cyclops, this suit of Cyclops, in an animated series VHS box? I'm willing to bet that's for sure going to happen. You can't, if you're releasing the X-Men, you gotta throw in Cyclops, right? You can't not do Cyclops. So I'm willing to bet that at some point this year we will get an announcement that a new Cyclops figure is going to be coming on that updated body. Now the tricky thing, or what's going to kind of suck, is that's going to be a cell shaded figure and won't really fit in necessarily with these. So he's going to look a little bit out of place with his brothers, but it will be really cool to have, you know, updated bodies for all of them, and be really nice. So I'm looking forward to that. How about you guys? Okay, so here is the Bonebreaker wave so far. So Wolverine, Siren, Sabretooth. Again, GameStop has released quantities of those. Havoc has been released by Big Bad Toy Store for some people that pre-ordered with them. So it's just a matter of time before all the figures start to release. But again, some Canadian retailers such as Toy Snowman did get some quantities. I'm not sure how many they got or if they have enough to fulfill all orders right away. Damn, look at that. Even with an updated body like Siren, she still can't stand. Oh man, it must be kind of the funky ass hair that's all shaped weird. Anyway, yeah, I'm really liking this wave. I can't wait to put Bonebreaker together. I'm really excited for that. You guys let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on this wave so far, your thoughts on Vulcan. Let me know in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.